short of going to war, it is about as close to the real thing as you can get, or probably want to get. And CityNews is taking you there. Tonight, Avery Haines begins a series of exclusive stories from the HMCS Toronto as our Canadian forces take part in major NATO maneuvers.
We are currently en route to the RV for the convoy ops exercise.
They call it Mavi Balina.
0 expecting a delay. They will contact us.
In Turkish, it means blue whale.
Set speed 11. Set speed 11.
To 5 nations, including Canada, it's a poetic code name for a mock war game.
She's tracking 14 knots.
8,500 kilometers from Toronto, in one of the most volatile regions on Earth, near the port town of Marmaris, Turkey. That's HMCS Toronto, nested between German and Turkish warships. The Spanish and the U.S. are also major players.
We have Harpoons, which is the surface-to-surface missile. We have the Evolved Sea Sparrow, which is surface-to-air. We have the 57 millimeter, which is an anti-air gun, and then we have torpedoes, which are anti-submarine.
Turkish submarines are about to be the subject of an international cat and mouse game in the eastern Mediterranean. Kill or be killed.
It's basically testing our capability and our abilities to find a submarine and track it in a war situation. So outside is we're calling an enemy submarine, and his objective is to come and find us, and our objective is to find him and stop him.
For 5 days, the NATO anti-submarine warfare exercise means these ships are scouring the eastern Mediterranean Sea together in constant communication.
You're going to be right there before that door.
That's what everybody in this operations room is working towards right now, is tracking and finding those submarines that are out there. This back row is generally used for command and control. This is where the surface, subsurface, and air war will be fought from. The operators in the front row are the ones that are putting all the picture together. So they're the ones that are looking at the sonar data, they're the ones that are looking at the radar data and building a picture for these guys to use to make decisions.
For most of the next 5 days, this ship is on high alert and sonar quiet.
Assume sonar quiet state.
Okay, so wait a second. What is it when they say assume? You just said assume quiet state.
So it's telling the sailors that they have to move around the ship very quietly, and it's also an order to the engineers to change the engineering configuration on board the ship. So they'll make sure that the quietest systems on board the ship are running. The quieter we can make Toronto, the harder it is for that submariner to find us.
The engines are on silent. The combat teams are working around the clock. And the captain's bridge is on alert. And now it's time for the pilots to join the sub hunt.
We have a real live submarine, which is something we don't usually get to play with very often, so when the opportunity arises, we're going to take that opportunity. Right now we're getting some really good tracking on it, and hopefully we can prosecute it and get some attacks in.
So the weather today is really good. It's nice and sunny, it's warm.
The Sea King helicopter is fired up. The crew readies to give an aerial perspective to the sub-hunting mission.
You follow me at all times, we'll have a good flight.
Sono buoys are dropped in strategic locations capable of picking up underwater sounds of a sub. The chopper hovers low. Those white trails in the water could be evidence of recent periscope activity.
When the submarine travels through the water, if it puts its periscope up, it leaves a small wake, okay? And then that wake could be a fairly long trail.
2.5 hours later, the hunt ends. The crew prepares to drop me off. From the chopper above to the warship below.
How successful was it in the hunt for the subs?
I think it was pretty successful, actually. We got hot there for a little while, so we got some good, valuable information for the ships.
There are no grades, no scorecards of just how HMCS Toronto fared against the other nations playing Capture the Sub.
Can you tell me much about how many times we got the subs? How many can you?
No, I don't think I can.
Why is that?
Well, the frequencies and everything are secret, and breaking down the operation piece by piece, we have to wait until all that's released.
5 days of war games in a span of sea from Marmaris to Antalya, Turkey, drawing to a close with the sight of land in the distance.
We are just minutes away from pulling into port in Antalya, Turkey. The captain of HMCS Toronto says Canada performed exceptionally well in the Mavi Balina exercise.
I'm getting huge kudos from back home for the work you're doing, the impact you're making in the region, and what you're doing for NATO.
With the sun setting on the Mavi Bellina exercise, the commander of HMCS Toronto reflects on a mission accomplished.
But we've done very well here, and I'm very proud of my ship's company and how they operate and how they conduct themselves and our ability to do this area of warfare.
One of the ships involved in this exercise, the USS Cole. That's the American warship that was blown up off Yemen just 11 months before 9/11. I happened to bump into the commander of that ship at the military port in Turkey. Please go to our website, and we will take you inside that ship where so many sailors died. There's also raw footage of my incredible adventure up in that chopper and getting dropped down onto the warship below.